Hey, Jim Wolf here with dating advice for men who love women. Now, there are a lot of things that guys do that they think will help them attract a woman that actually end up pushing her away. And if you waste your time and energy doing things that don't help you attract the right woman for you, it can prevent you from experiencing the success with women that you deserve. So I decided to put together a list of things that men sometimes think will help them with women that don't really work and or hurt your chances with women, to make absolutely sure that you're aware of these things, and so that you can avoid wasting your time and energy running down the wrong path and be as successful as you can instead. I think this one should be fun, so let's get started. So here are 10 things that do not attract women. Number 1, trying to convince her to like you. You probably already know this by now, but attraction is not a logical process. It's mostly emotional, and so is love. A woman doesn't fall in love with you because of your resume stats or other logical reasons. She actually falls in love with the way that she feels around you and with the way that you behave, and then she rationalizes why she feels so strongly about you using those resume stats and logical reasons. That's what happens. And so trying to convince her logically why she should like you in any possible way doesn't work, and actually trying to convince her to like you pushes her away. Because when you do anything or say something just to try to get her to like you more, that's called qualifying yourself to her. And when you're qualifying yourself to her, she interprets that as neediness, and neediness pushes a woman away. And so don't try to convince her to like you, because it doesn't work, and it usually backfires and pushes her away. And here's the thing. If a woman's not already interested in you at least a little bit when you meet her, there is nothing you can do to make her like you or make her like you more. So trying to convince a woman to like you never works. On the other hand, if she is at least a little bit interested in you, you can make her like you more by the way you behave. But trying to convince her to like you is not one of those things that raises her interest level in you. And this is exactly why bringing a woman flowers, writing her songs, poems, and letters, doing favors for her, and explaining why you're better than other guys doesn't work either. Doing any of those things is just trying to convince her to like you using things that are external to you. And when you try to convince a woman to like you, you're actually communicating that you don't think you have enough value for her on your own, on the inside, as you are right now. And when you do think you're enough for her on the inside right now, that's called internal value. And when you show her that you have internal value through your actions, she actually gets more attracted to you, assuming she's interested in you a little bit in the first place. So from this point forward, think about everything that you're doing in a dating context and eliminate everything that you're doing that you now realize is just you trying to convince a woman to like you. And if you eliminate those behaviors, you're going to do a lot better automatically. And lastly, listen. If you don't quite believe in your own value as a man yet, if you don't believe you have a lot of value to offer a woman, start working on that from the inside right now. Because believing in your own value is the foundation of being able to attract a woman and not having to try to convince a woman to like you. So find a way to start truly believing in your own value and stop trying to convince women to like you. And then number 2, the second thing that does not attract a woman is telling her how you feel about her. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Marvel or comic book kind of movies. However, the other day I watched the new Spider-Man movie. I think it's called Spider-Man Away From Home. And something happened in the movie that happens in lots of TV shows and movies. And I think that's where this idea comes from. When a guy is interested in a woman, a lot of times his friends will tell him, "Oh, you have to tell her how you feel." Or he just thinks that's a good idea inside his own mind. And that's exactly what happened in this most recent Spider-Man movie. The main character was interested in a woman, and he came up with his, quote, plan, where he was going to take her to the Eiffel Tower and then tell her how he feels about her. And then hopefully she would say it back, and then they would kiss or whatever. So that was his plan. His plan was to tell her how he feels about her. Well, in real life, that does not help you attract a woman. You should not tell her how you feel. Why not? Because your interest in a woman does not make her interested in you. Your interest in a woman is completely separate from her interest in you. A woman likes you because she likes you, not because you like her. And when you just tell her how you feel, what you're actually doing is asking her to take the lead. You want to say, hey, I really like you, so that then she might say, hey, I really like you too, and then kisses you or suggests that you go out on a date or something like that. So you're basically just asking her to take the lead, and you're expressing your feelings towards her, which are irrelevant to her interest in you. When we want to attract a woman, what we want to know is if she's interested in us. Our interest in her is assumed. And so telling a woman how you feel does not make her like you or make her like you more, ever. On the other hand, verbally confessing your feelings for her certainly can push her away, even if she actually is a little bit interested in you, because you're displaying a lack of leadership skills. So instead of telling a woman how you feel, keep your mouth shut about your feelings and just express your interest in her by asking for her number, asking her out on a date, and going for a kiss by the end of the second date. That's how you do it. You show your interest in a woman through your actions, not your words, because that's what actually works. You want to show her how you feel by attracting her properly, and you don't want to tell her how you feel. Make sense? Awesome. Let's move on. The third thing that does not attract a woman is having long and frequent texting conversations with her, or conversations over the phone or Skype or something like that, by the way. Listen, texting back and forth with a woman does not make her more attracted to you. On the other hand, taking a woman out on fun dates and then giving her time and space in between dates to think and wonder about you raises her interest in you. So when it comes down to it, you have two choices. You can actually date a woman, or you can be her pen pal. It's up to you. Now, it might feel good for a while to get regular validation from your phone buzzing with a woman's messages to you all day long. However, it feels a lot better when that woman actually falls deeply in love with you instead of getting rid of you like she does with every other guy who texts her too much. And then the fourth thing that does not attract a woman is being available to her all the time. A lot of guys think that if they're just available as often as possible, they have a better chance of dating a woman. And it's actually the opposite. In fact, being too available actually kills female interest. So don't be at a woman's beck and call if you want to be her lover. Instead, wait a little while before you text her back when she texts you. Wait 4 to 8 days after each date you take her on before you ask her out again. And if she asks you to hang out with her the same day she texts you to ask you to meet up, tell her that you're busy tonight, but you'd love to meet up with her a day or two later instead. And if you ask a woman out on a date, and she says she's busy at the day and the time that you offer her, don't immediately offer her a lot more options for when you can meet up with her. Just say, okay, no problem, we'll talk later. And then wait 4 to 8 more days, and then try asking her out one more time if you want. Do not show a woman that you're too available, or you will crush any interest she might have in you. And listen, you don't have to play games to do this. If you're actively creating a life that you actually love living, you really will be busy, and you won't be available all the time. So if you need to, work on that. Otherwise, find a way to make sure that you're not showing her that you're too available to her, because it will destroy your romantic connection with a woman. Remember, patience can be bitter, but its fruit is delicious. And patience is the biggest key to women. Anytime you have an option to go faster or slower, always choose to go slower. That's a big key, and it's really hard for men, which is why it's so attractive. Next, the fifth thing that does not attract a woman is liking and commenting on her social media posts. Listen, if you want to attract a woman, do not stalk her social media pages and start liking all of her photos and liking all of her posts and commenting on everything. Let her friend zone guys give her online validation while you actually date her. Instead of paying attention to a woman on social media, just ask her to meet up with you. Spend time with her in person, have fun with her, go for a kiss by the end of the second date, and wait 4 to 8 days to ask her out again after each date. And again, keep your contact with her to a bare minimum between dates so that she actually has time and space to think and wonder about you. Because that's when her interest in you rises the most, not when you're actually with her and not when you're clicking like on her social media accounts. So don't stalk a woman on social media. Just date her instead. And then the sixth thing that does not attract a woman is saving her. The classic example of this kind of white knight savior kind of thinking is fantasizing about saving a woman from being hit by a car. Like kind of in a movie when you see a woman stepping into the street and in kind of slow motion you see a car coming by and you run and jump and tackle her to the ground to save her from being hit by the car. And then because you saved her life, now she falls in love with you. Now that might sound like a kind of out there fantasy, but I know a lot of guys think that way. Well, listen, that's the wrong path to run on because women don't need to be saved. Women do not need to be saved. And saving a woman does not make her more interested in you. In fact, it actually murders romantic love in cold blood, leaving it lifeless on the floor. Now, if a woman's already interested in you or already deeply in love with you, and then you save her life, it might make her feel more connected to you. But if you're doing something just because you want her to love you, that's not how it works. And again, the car fantasy is just the most classic form of saving a woman that some guys think about. Some guys also think that saving a woman from financial problems, from her childhood traumas, from her own bad taste in men, and from her psychological problems can make her fall in love with him. Well, it doesn't. So don't try to be a woman's therapist, her father, or her savior. Date her and just have fun with her instead. Because love is light and playful. It's a myth that love is serious and heavy. And that's also why showing a woman how well you understand her and being her shoulder to cry on don't make her more attracted to you either. Those are connecting behaviors, not attracting behaviors. And unless she's already super into you, they will prevent her from having romantic feelings for you because she won't be able to see you that way anymore. She won't see you as a man that she can date. She'll see you as a brother or a father or a therapist kind of person. And that's not her fault if that's what you're doing. So remember, this is all about how she feels about you. And her romantic feelings for you are not based on you saving her. And by the way, this is also why it doesn't matter how much her friends and family like you or think that you're good for her. What matters is how she feels about you, not what other people think. And if a woman is interested enough in a guy, she will even consider leaving her family and friends behind if they don't support her relationship with him. That's how powerful female interest is. It overrides everything else. So if you've ever thought about trying to attract a woman by saving her or convincing people around her that you're good for her, stop wasting your time and energy on that and do what works instead. And the seventh thing that does not attract a woman is having serious, deep, heavy conversations with her. Again, love is light and playful. It's not serious. So if you want to build a deep connection with a woman, share new experiences with her. Have fun with her. Do things together that build that emotional connection in a positive way. And when you do something with a woman that neither of you have ever done before, it creates a stronger emotional connection than any kind of conversation can. Remember, negatives do not create romantic love, and neither do serious, heavy subjects. In fact, they threaten it. So instead of trying to have serious, deep, heavy conversations to connect with her, let the fun you're having with her be your connection with her. Keep the environment as light and playful as you can, because again, love is light and playful. It's not serious. So if you think that building a deep connection with a woman is all about kind of sharing each other's traumas and talking about really serious, heavy subjects and being super serious and logical, from now on, drop all of that when you're dating a woman and try to have as much fun as you possibly can. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't be serious sometimes. It's just that in general, your default setting on a date with a woman should be light and fun. You should create an environment that's as playful as possible. And listen, if you end up marrying a woman and you spend 75 years with her, there's going to be plenty of time for you both to share big negative traumas from your past with each other if you want to. Just don't do it on your first couple of dates. As much as you possibly can from your first date until you've been with a woman for 75 years, keep the environment light and playful, because life is going to present you with enough negatives as it is without you just actively creating more negatives by bringing them up all the time. And here's one last thing about this. All of us have negative and positive experiences from our past that we can share with someone. And when you're on a date with a woman, you want to choose things mostly from the positive pile as much as you can. That's your choice. So you can actively create romantic love and attraction with her, which is light and playful, if you choose to share those positives with her, or you can destroy that connection while you're just actually trying to build it just by choosing those things from the negative pile, or the heavy pile, or the serious pile. So if you currently believe that developing a deep connection with a woman involves these negative, serious, or heavy things, drop that from now on and try focusing on the positives and keeping things light and playful instead. And you're going to find you do a lot better with women when you do that. And then the 8th thing that does not help you attract a woman is using Rhino horn. Now, that might sound silly to you, but there are a lot of things like this that guys think might help them, like aphrodisiacs or some kind of cologne, or in this case, rhino horn. In fact, belief in rhino horn is so strong that it actually sells for $45,000 a pound. Why? Because some people believe that it has medicinal and possibly even magical qualities, including making a woman want you. I mean, a guy could just listen to this YouTube channel for free or make a small investment to get one of our books and get much better results than buying rhino horn. Yet rhino horn cost $45,000 per pound because guys think it might help them make a woman want them. And that's crazy to me. And I'm here to tell you that rhino horn or a lucky rabbit's foot or an aphrodisiac or some kind of cologne with pheromones in it does not make a woman want you. So save your money on those kinds of things and do what works instead. And then the 9th thing that does not help you attract a woman is taking her on expensive dates and buying her stuff. This is a big one because a lot of guys believe that this is a good way to attract a woman. Listen closely. Expensive dates and gifts do not make a woman more attracted to you. Those things attract women who are interested in money and the lifestyle you can provide, but they also push away women who are genuinely interested in you. And here's the thing. If you want to be in a relationship with a woman, and especially if you want to create a family with her, it's important that you choose a woman who's there because she wants to be with you. And if you try to attract a woman like that by spending lots of money on her, she'll actually get turned off because she doesn't want to feel like you're trying to buy her. And by the way, gold diggers couldn't care less about that. So remember, gifts, shopping sprees, and expensive dinners do not make a woman more interested in you. And they push good women away. If the kind of woman that you actually want to date that would actually make a good choice for you feels like you're trying to impress her too much by spending lots of money on her, that will actually push her away. So if you do this, you're just filtering in the wrong women and pushing away the ones that you really want to date. And we want to do the opposite. So what we want to do is take women on inexpensive or free first, second, and third dates that are also fun, and we don't want to buy them any gifts no matter how much money we have. Because the kind of woman that you want to date will be happy to meet you for a coffee on the first date, while a gold digger will not be happy with that at all. So for at least the first 3 dates with any woman, take her out for something that's not very expensive, even if you have a lot of money, to see if she's interested in being there with you or if she has some other kind of agenda. That way you'll filter out the women who have agendas and you'll filter in the high quality women that you actually want to be with. And then the last thing that does not help you attract women, number 10, is wishful thinking. Now listen, I'm all about showing you what actually works when it comes to attracting women. So if wishing, hoping, casting spells, trying to hypnotize a woman, and or praying that she would be attracted to you actually worked in terms of making a woman like you or fall in love with you, I would absolutely tell you to do any of those things in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, they don't. Those things might work on other things, I'm not sure about that, but what I am sure about is they 100% do not work when it comes to attracting a woman. And now you know 10 things that don't help you attract a woman. So what does make a woman more attracted to you? Well, assuming that a woman is interested in you at least a little bit in the first place, there are only 4 things that make a woman more interested in you. And those 4 things are internal value, internal strength, pre-selection, and challenge. And whenever your behavior shows her that you have those 4 things, her interest in you goes up. And whenever you show her that you don't have those 4 things, her interest in you goes down. It really is that simple. And then, of course, once she actually falls completely deeply in love with you, at that point, you have to maintain her high interest in you. And there are also 4 things that maintain a woman's high interest in you as long as you want to be with her. And that's exactly what we cover inside our best-selling Attract and Keep Her system. We go over all 4 of the attractive male qualities that make a woman more interested in you and how to apply them step by step from the first moment that you meet a woman until she falls deeply in love with you. And then we talk about how to apply the 4 inputs that maintain her interest in you as long as you want to be with her so that she doesn't fall out of love with you at any point. And so if you want to attract, keep, and build a great relationship with the right woman for you, grab your copy of the Attract and Keep Her system by going to attractandkeepher.com/system. That's attractandkeepher.com/system right now. And as a thank you for checking out this presentation, we also have some free gifts for you. We have some advanced free training for you, and you can get all of that by going to datingadviceformenwholovewomen.com. That's datingadviceformenwholovewomen.com. I'm Jim Wolf with Dating Advice for Men Who Love Women, and I'll talk to you later.